So every year as I come up to New England, we try to do something interesting. Me and my mom go out on an excursion, and this year is no different. This year we are visiting, what are we visiting?
The New England Air Museum.
The New
There's
England,
a sign.
Yep, there it is, look at that, the New England Air Museum. So here we are, we have arrived, and this video will document our excursion here to the New England Air Museum.
And here we are at the Connecticut Air National Guard.
And, well, very good, Ma, look at that. Connecticut Air National Guard. In case you ever wonder what that looks like, let's get started.
Wow, it's crowded today. Look at that, how nice. Good to see.
Today's activities is helicopter day today, and I got a map so we don't get lost, but apparently there's gonna be a lot of helicopter stuff for us. Look at that bad boy. Just transport a whole container with it. You just latch it on, right?
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, look, you just latch it on, and you just transport it. You let it go, you can latch on anything to it, you see? The whole helicopter just becomes bare. So let's walk in. Let's just,
Is that like the C-130?
yeah, I guess it's like the C-130 helicopters. And just fine ergonomic military accommodations right there. Can you imagine being the guy who has to put in every single rivet? I would not enjoy that job. And then being the inspector who has to inspect every single rivet. This is a replica of the Red Baron's airplane.
Wow.
With a Fokker DR1. Even tells the story right here.
Yeah.
Triplane.
Baron von Richthofen.
Mm-hmm. Apparently it is true he did not shoot down Snoopy. Looks like they used safety wire for the spark plug connections, or am I wrong? Or that's just how they assembled it here to hold it on. I can't tell. Still interesting though. See, propeller's wood, right? And then they used, looks like copper on the end for reinforcement. All handmade. Must have been very difficult at the time to do something like that. This part escapes me here, right? You can see the valves right here. It's like a total loss oiling system on these engines. So I guess it just kind of just sprays oil everywhere, right? Like you fill it up with oil. It sprays oil everywhere because the valves. It's wide open here. You can see the tappets, right?
Right, but what's not gotten to where it's supposed to go just sprays out into the air.
So what? Yeah, but here's the thing, right? So at the time, of course, it's total loss oiling. Motorcycles had it too.
Okay.
Then the propeller, right, blows all of the oil back, right, behind this plane. So obviously the planes didn't look like this, right?
Oh, you see the way it's curved? You're absolutely right.
So the propeller's spinning. These engines are literally blowing oil out of them as a matter of function to keep the I don't want to say the top end, but for the purpose of this conversation, the top end of the engine running, right? Mm-hmm. So the propeller's spinning at full tilt, and all of that oil is blowing. This whole entire facade here must have been covered with oil completely, including the pilot behind the engine must have just been covered in engine oil. Is all now you can see that there's a cover here that covers this top portion of the engine to stop that to a degree. Right, you could see that obviously they put that there just so that, but there's no way, it's not like hermetically sealed. You can see that air has to blow through to keep the engine cool.
So
right?
There's a lot of waste, in other words.
Well, we know that you have to obviously just keep filling these engines with oil to keep them running. You don't change the oil, you just keep adding oil to them, right? But I just can't imagine how dirty these things must have looked in normal operation because of how much oil they must have lost with all of these cylinders just blowing oil out the top end. So that's how I imagine. You can see, I'll do a close-up here, but you can see that's just how I see the operation of these things running. There's the lifters right there, right? There's the lifter coming off the engine, wide open. Right. The push rod right there. And all of this is just exposed, and there's a valve. So yeah, very weird.
Goodness.
Well, this is the first time you were in a fighter jet flight simulator?
Yes, I have to say it's the first time I've been in one. Thank you.
That is more than a gas gauge and an electrical gauge. Where's the neutral light?
Who?
Neutral. Is it neutral?
I don't know what it's
Make sure it's in neutral or roll backwards.
Oh dear.
Do you have the emergency brake on?
My feet on the pedals. I don't know what I'm sticking on.
Okay, make sure.
I'm on.
Okay.
Not very
Find
comfy.
first gear. Put your foot on the clutch. Put your foot on the clutch, put it in first gear.
I don't see the clutch. See, jettison is right over there.
Mm-hmm.
In case I have to really get out in a hurry. And there's the tail hook for when I land on the carrier.
There you go.
Excellent.
So you got it all figured out?
I got it all figured out. I'm cool.
So now that you know how to fly this thing.
Let's go.
Let's go. I don't know where to hop in. I'll get in the trunk. Look, Ma, two opposing blades right next to each other. It's not the same helicopter. You see that?
Why isn't there one in the back going the other
It
way?
doesn't need it because both blades are counterbalancing. Doesn't have to doesn't have to counterbalance the gyroscopic effect of the blade turning in one direction.
That's
Right?
called a chain.
So all it needs is to, and I believe this part I'm not sure, but I believe it just needs to adjust the speed of one ever so slightly to have the direction of the helicopter with regard to on the axis. Yeah, but those are two blades slightly off pitch.
Yeah, I see that.
Right, you can see the angle right there, and they spin. They never touch each other. So that's good.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
that would be nice.
That's pretty cool, though. So here's the ultra experimental version of that one, right? I know there's an acronym that describes these, right? And okay, so this was first flown in 1948, right?
Wow, older than I am.
With the two blades, right? So I mean, the concept is definitely not what I would call new, but it is. It's definitely not popular either, right? You don't see a ton of these around.
Like wooden blades.
Well, yeah, this is an experimental craft, right? So it's definitely not popular, but I don't want to say it's unheard of. I've been directed towards this exhibit to demonstrate how this works. So
Intermeshing rotors.
look at that,
Son of a gun.
like an egg beater.
Yeah, well, that's an egg beater as an example.
I'll point out that that's a Navy helicopter. The Navy is America's biggest air force. You got to land it right in the middle of the museum.
I'm cool.
Okay.
I can do it.
Flip switches and stuff. See what happens. Pull that handle. However, you pull the handle quick before
Quick?
we no, the other handle. That handle right there.
Which handle?
I
This
don't know.
one?
Whichever one looks like that handle.
looks
There
like
you
a
go.
handle.
Okay,
There you
something
go.
happened.
Oh, we're not moving.
Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
Yeah, we lost the plane.
Oh.
It's not good.
No, dear.
Hey, look, we made it.
We made it.
Oh, watch out for the jet in front of us. Ah! This is back when people knew how to build an engine. This is wonderful. Look at this. This is 1917 Curtis, right? That's a Magneto. Boy, oh boy. See all the safety wire? Everything's safety wire.
Yeah.
Curtis kicked it up a notch in 21. Look at this. Quality. Quality. A 1947 Rolls Royce, right? This is very old jet turbine. As far as jet turbines go, this is like ancient history. It's like just post World War II. Look at that. There's almost nothing to it. Right? See the nozzles right there?
Yeah.
There's almost nothing. But what did it generate? 5,400 pounds of thrust. That's it. And I'm sure as it heated up, it probably leaked more fuel than it actually used. Wow. Yeah, that's something to behold. That's something to behold. That's just as bad as ancient as it gets. The human-powered helicopter. That would be worth seeing, yes? So here it is in its unassembled form. I have seen this operate, right? I've seen it on TV. This helicopter actually go airborne. These are the pieces, except for the bicycle portion. But yeah, okay, pretty cool. That's it. Very light, so nice.
They have no idea what's going on behind them.
I wonder if that company's still in business. Look at that carburetor. That's something. Those are fun restoration jobs. All these engines would be fun restoration jobs. Looks like they did a pretty good job here, though. It's not much to it, but it makes a lot of sense. If you put an engine and blades and whatnot on this device,
Yeah.
and you lock it stationary to the ground, right? And then you measure the upward force exerted, right? The purpose of this device isn't to be able to fly, right? The purpose of the device is to have a means of measuring the angle, the pitch of the blades, the speed of the motor, and then how much it pulls away to tell how much effective pounds of lift that you have from the motor and the blades. And that's what this is for experimentation, lift and torque. Something like this would be cool to build. You don't even need a license to fly something like this. You can get an experimental permit and just fly this without an aviation license if it's under a certain amount of weight or power. But you didn't know that.
No, I
It's
did
like
not.
an ultralight class.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
Where
see-
would you build it? In your backyard?
No, in your backyard.
Oh, my backyard. Cool.
Yeah. Or Joe's, he wouldn't mind.
He wouldn't mind.
Kids would love it.
Yeah.
Now that's a shiny propeller. It's a good looking plane. Of course, it's Eastern Airlines. We're gonna miss an opportunity to not spin a Wankel engine, so there we go. Slow motion though. Slow motion. How awesome is that? It's a shame they don't seal good. And they probably never will. But the concept is amazing. Good power to weight ratio. There you go. Wankel motor. Look at that, Ma.
Neat.
That'll get rid of mosquitoes in the neighborhood.
For sure.
Yeah, it's on me. Okay. Want to get it in flight?
No, I don't think so.
No? Shut There you go, Ma. There's your mesh helicopter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Even better.
How about we just sit and let mommy take a pic? Fishy face to mommy.
Yes, we were stopping by the used plane dealership. She's like, hey, I put a little paint on it. She'll clean up nice, roll it off, have a special sale if you're looking to buy a plane today. It's like, yeah, why not? A little bumpy. Engine runs smooth, though.
I need a bigger garage, sorry.
Sounds better than she looks. I think this is like the boneyard or something.
I was just going to say that.
These are
it's
the
sad.
these are the planes that nobody loved.
It's sad. Because they did such a good job.
Look at that one. That one's got a camper on top of it.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know, but if you happen to land in like somewhere that's got plumbing and what have
It's got
you,
its own Thule.
it's got its own Thule box on top of it. This one's kind of cool, even though it's worse for wear, just because it's like a really old military jet, 54, right? So, and it looks like it's got like a camera mounted on the front of it there, so it does surveillance or whatnot. Those are some old turbines right there. And it's got a very low profile when it's sitting on the ground. It could also be because the tires are flat. Jinx. So, so yeah, I thought I'd throw that out there. Happens to be Air Force, but we'll give it props anyway. No props. Turbines.
No, come on, props.
That was a pun. Come on. Okay, Ma, so now the quiz. The left side is what?
Potato gun.
No, that's the potato gun right there. So what do? They give you the warning. They shoot 4 potatoes at you.
They show four potatoes over your belt. Exactly.
And if you don't listen,
They get you the Gatling gun.
there you go.
There
Now
you
you
go.
understand.
Now I
And
understand.
if you don't, and if you're still around after that, then they hit you with the what?
With the rocket launcher.
Very good. Now you're educated.
There you go.
If I turn on the light in this camera, we can see the rifling in there.
You should, yes.
Let's try this again. The rifling in the A-10 Thunderbolt. Oh. Yes, it's very good. It's very good still. Look at that. Look at this bad boy. We wouldn't want that living in New York.
No, we'd not.
Kind of. I got really good at sticking head fat back into my.
The airplane is all hydraulic landing, give you traction, hydraulic control. So how
Chair in there.
they are. Give me a second. Thank you. Front to back, you have a bombardier in the very nose. Behind the bombardier on the left is the pilot, on the right is the co-pilot. Behind the co-pilot is the flight engineer. He controls the engines and all systems for the airplane. In order to get from the front to the back, because the bomb bay was not pressurized, there's a 31-inch diameter, 31-foot long tube above your head. So crawl the length of the tube, and you get to the back pressurized area. No people over 250 pounds allowed, they get stuck, and then you have to pour oil down the whole tube.
Nobody wants that.
And nobody wants that.
This would be cool to have.
I
a
would
real
love.
Jeep,
I would love to have one of these. My
like-
next car.
not like
If you
what they call
love me,
Jeeps today.
if you love me,
Get you a Jeep
you would get me one of these.
because your Chryslers have been so dependable. We should move to something like this in these New England winters. You'd be so happy.
This is a
with-
Ford, pardon me.
No, no. What I'm saying is, we've had so much luck with cars that we should get you a Jeep because that would do you so well in these New England winters.
Yes, but I'd need to have the windows closed. That could be a problem.
What windows?
There's a lot
what
of
heat?
ventilation.
What floor?
There you go. That solves that problem.
He told us to take a closer inspection of this computer, see if I could identify any of these tubes. And I see they are Raytheon VT23. I cannot. I just can't see it.
Very small.
That one, does that look like a rectifier? Looks like a rectifier. Other than that, I really can't tell. I just don't see a lot of them in there. It just looks like rectification, that's it. It doesn't, it's not like the vacuum tubes are providing any logic, it's just rectification. So, okay, whatever. I have a gander over at this side, and I do see 6S and 7s up here. Okay, so there is more going on here than I thought. So they are amplifiers over here, or they could be used as high-speed switches. So, yeah, okay. Interesting. Well, not interesting for the time, but yeah, 6S and 7s. I could use those for my amplifiers. Those are worth a pretty penny today. No kid is complete without an opium pipe, of course. How times have changed. Yeah, this is my favorite. This is quintessential. Let's see. Oh.
Okay, if you lift up on that control,
Turns hostility into hamburger.
that will make
Basically.
You see that?
Yeah.
that black area.
Good
And
stuff.
what's that?
Fingers are out. You twist it.
That's
your
not
problem.
a.
That's
Oh,
a
that's
rocket.
more. Oh, it's a rocket
Yeah,
launcher.
no, there happens to be
The other
one in there.
control, you got your
Right,
right
you can see
hand.
that it supports
That'll
several.
make it
Right.
go forward,
It's a different
left,
setup than we
right,
saw before.
and back up.
Right.
Pedals.
I hope you enjoyed our video of the New England Air Museum.
Thanks for watching.